Good morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here. Mm. Hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificent, and marvelous because I am. Today is 12/31/2024, so it's actually like the last day of the year of 2024. And so I was just going around on the various social media platforms and just attempting to figure out what everybody's talking about and see what's going on basically in the world of social media. ah and I just wanted to give my perspective as well, because it is important. Just share your narrative. Just put something out there. Do not be concerned about whether people are following you or not. Do not be concerned of whether or not you're getting proper likes. It's all manipulative, and you just really need to be very mindful of that. If anything you learn from me over the course of as long as I've been doing my videos since 2022, when I re-entered back into the social media platform, is prior to that, I stopped doing videos or just stopped interacting with the social media part of it prior to 2022, because I did publish a couple of books, and I took up a couple of classes on how to promote it. And then that's when I realized how manipulative it is, how you can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can have someone manipulatively position you on Google search or any kind of search engine to how you can rank yourself. It's all manipulative. And some people are just pushed forward in your face and propelled. I told you, a lot of people will propel you up into the sky and get you all this attention and get you all this access to this and access to that. And then at the drop of a dime, they'll drop you. No warnings, no nothing. You're dropped. You're done. The contract is over. And that happened to so many people, where they had these high profile entertainers, come forward and what do they call it? Forward your information. They endorsed you, and just put you at these on the pedestal of everything, whereas you got this. It wasn't organic attention. It was manipulative. It was marketed to you, and that's where I started to get a bitter taste in my mouth about marketing. I recognize the manipulative nature of it, and the majority of it, in my opinion, is nothing more, nothing less than Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes. But every now and then, just like everything else, you have the great intentions of people that come through those channels of manipulative and deceptive behaviors and actions and still prosper. And they're usually lesser knowns. They're under the radar, so to speak. But they still are able to provide for themselves, stand on their own 2 feet, and become genuine human beings in the true sense. They're not overindulging, and they're not, and it's just a rare individual, and I was that person, at some point. But then I also had to deal with battles in my life. I had to completely heal myself. That was the main objective, is completely heal myself from all my traumatic, quote unquote, whatever that was, life experiences. I wouldn't say traumatic, but we give so many titles to things that are not necessarily, because once I say something is traumatic, and I also said this too, what has changed as well is the competition level of how we share our information and share our narratives. It becomes it becomes competition. At one point, you'll be on there, talking about your life experiences and giving your perspective on life, and then you read the comments, and millions of other people are giving their narrative, and they're kind of like fusing out your stories and replacing it with theirs. And so that's why it was so important, I said, for everybody to control your own narratives, share your own stories, put your own podcasts out, put your own videos out. And so that is what happened. And that's why there's billions upon billions of content out there. But for me, it didn't create a problem per se for me, because I know who I am, what I am, and why I am. I did not need to resort to buying what is that word? Buying attention per se. Yes, you do have to pay. You do have to use strategies. I understand that, but there's no desperation on my part, and there is no jealousy on my part, and there's no envy. I do not need to be pushing people out of the way just so I can get the attention, go viral is what it's called now, by pushing everybody out of the way. And then the sad part is when people were going viral, they were not prepared for it at all. So that's when things started to reveal itself. People started to be exposed. A lot of people were, it was determined that they were stealing content, that they were lying and being deceptive, and they couldn't walk the talk about anything that they were talking about. They were just using false narratives. So in other words, the separation of the wheat from the chaff started happening as well. And it all started, it probably started well before I retired in 2022, but I didn't recognize the effects of it until about 2022. And that's when significant events started happening in my life, and the lives of others, where there were life-threatening situations happening to me and others. Okay, I have plenty of videos that illustrate that, the breadcrumbs of videos I have out there that will shed a light on this kind of stuff. Because what's going to happen in the distant future is that my descendants, which is part of my ancestry, they're gonna uncover my videos like others, or my content just like others, and they're going to recognize, okay, what was happening right underneath their noses, and how manipulative and deceptive practices were the norm from this inception. That most people, and then they're going to, the fall of what's happening to us now is worse than Rome. It is worse than what happened to Rome by tenfold. And, we are essentially just flattening Earth, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, and exposing everything about people. So that's why I say just remain genuine. Make sure your content, that you're walking the talk. My content is genuine, consistent, and original. If you saw something in me, because you have a lot of people coming forward trying to read people, and using these esoteric methods to try to read people, via tarot cards and via palm reading, and it's unfortunate that people are continuing to resort to that type of behaviors and actions. And when I told you the innately inclined, you don't have to do that. But a lot of innately inclined people have devolved, have degenerate, have, they devolved. Instead of evolving their consciousness on a vertical, lateral rays of vibration, they are, and they're not reachable. And those are the ones that are operating, I told you, under that criminal energy and criminal behaviors and actions. It's going to be because they've allowed that kind of behaviors and actions to be imprinted, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, on their brains. So it's like a part of their personality. It's going to take tremendous strength, in internal strength, to get yourself out of these. I guess they call them paradigms. These delusions and hallucinations, and mostly centered around belief. I put a post up yesterday saying the innately inclines, like myself and others, we choose to do this work. It's free will for us to do what we're doing to help people. Okay, We don't go around calling ourselves chosen ones. That's arrogance and cockiness, and also is expired. And also, if you understood what it meant to be a chosen one, you'll stop calling yourself one. I'm just going to make that clear and effective. I did everything in my power to throw out the breadcrumbs about that. But people are still calling themselves that, heroes and prophets and such. You would not announce that. You would just let your work speak for itself. I have plenty of evidence to prove that I am walking the talking, okay? That I have the effectiveness necessary to help people. I have the skills and abilities, not to mention the life experiences to help people. So, but my sounds and tones has to resonate with them, and they'll find me. I mean, people are finding me, and I'm good. I don't invade people. I don't attempt to indoctrinate you. I don't use coercive, convincing, persuading tactics and manipulations and deceptions. I come to you as I am, and if your sounds and tones resonate with me, you will come to me, and we'll have a proper interaction together. And what I do is guide and help. I guide you. I give you the information you need. I give you the guidance you need, and I let you go. And you're going to realize how beautiful that is. That's what our parents were supposed to do as well. But due to so much interference and indoctrination and, via religion has destroyed a lot of cultures. All that's going to be revealed in the future. The act of religion, has destroyed a lot of cultures and continues to do so. It has destroyed the family structure as to how the family structure ought to have been cultivated and contemplated, but that's going to be discovered, unfortunately. So here we are, facing each other at the end of the 2024. And, I've said, more so recently, no one has to know what you do. I think that's the beauty of all of this, that a lot of people are determining. No one has to know what you're doing inside of you. You can be sitting here minding your own business and still be cultivating and contemplating properly about how to, ground yourself in your reality and deal with your actual reality. You're starting to ask questions like, okay, and like I said, contradictions are necessary. You need to find the contradictions in anything that someone's saying to you or doing, so that you'll have something to correlate to. Without contradictions, you won't have a correlation to know, okay, how do I compare this to that, and what's the value in this and that. So you need the contradictions. Let me see, contradiction meanings. Let me see how that's changed over the last couple of years. It's an inconsistency or discrepancy. Okay, look for the discrepancies in everything, because that'll help you to, put the pieces together. Okay, because like I said, if everybody, which was attempted millennia ago, if someone came to you and directly told you something, if you were thinking clearly and effectively, and you had the proper capabilities to think clearly and effectively, your consciousness was evolved properly, you would be able to take it on and just move on with it. But no, with us, even if the proof is in the pudding, as they say, what does that mean? That's a metaphor. Let's see. I like to know how things have proof in the pudding. Because you need, like I said, use metaphors, use symbolism, use idioms, use parables as to how you are expressing yourself. No one has to know you're doing that, so that you can clearly understand what's going on in your life. But they said that it means that the true value or quality of something can only be judged by putting it to the test and experiencing it. And essentially, you need to try it out to see if it works as promised. Isn't that something? Once you put, metaphor. I love metaphors. I love parables because that helps me as a, like I said, I grew up being more visual than auditory. I'm not that intellectual talking head. Well, I am now. All that stuff develops over time. All of your sensing develops over time. So visually, I had to attempt to recreate what was said to me to understand what in the hell are these people talking to me about. That's why I wasn't good in school. And if the teacher was sitting there just rambling and rambling, you had to give me some visual aids. I need to, or give me, or put it in a parable, put it in a metaphor, so that I can attempt to recreate it in my thoughts, recreate it in my vision, and understand what the hell you're talking about. That was a challenge growing up because we had these ineffective ways of being taught. So that's why self-education was the best. That was the best life experience for me, to self-educate myself and get myself involved in some life experiences. So as we end this 2024 year, I say 2024 was one of the most missed opportunities for a lot of us. 2025 is going to, from now on, it's just going to be a uphill battle. I'm going to do my best to help as many as I can. I'm not going to be delusional about all of that, because a lot of people are going to battle against you. There's so many people that think they know everything about everything. Hey, let them be. They think they know everything about everything. They think they have all the answers. They think because they got $1 million in the bank or $1 billion in the bank that they're the experts. Okay, they don't recognize how all of that's going to collapse. And then what? You're going to lose all this so-called material, tangible property that you hold yourself above everybody. In other words, all because I have 100 properties, I'm more qualified than someone that has, that's renting one room, or someone that's has all of this so-called quote unquote money in the bank, which is nothing but monopoly money. A lot of people gonna figure that out. A lot of people gonna take themselves out when they realize that it was all monopoly money. It was all scams. It was all manipulative, speculative, and deception at the most high. At the most high. And so you're going to see what's going to happen to so-called these intellectual talking head, these millionaire, billionaires, these high influencers. Like, some of them are coming forward. I appreciate certain people coming forward to help, but there's some that just does not represent reality anymore, and they're not catching on at all. They do not recognize that they have essentially been retired. They ought to have been retired and moved on. They will not get out of the way, because I know they recognize that people are going to figure out that they were a sham, that they were lying and deceiving us. So now they're trying to save face. And so a lot of them are coming forward, attempting to spread some type of wisdom that they never had. They may have stolen a lot of wisdom from other people. And they haven't cultivated anything in their own thoughts. All they're doing is regurgitating. They're not necessarily thinking at all. They're not properly thinking at all. So that's how we allowed ourselves to create this self-created man-made dementia. So, but there's some power behind that, though. Think about it. I said it was self-created. So if you can self-create something, that means you can do what? Self-uncreated. Because it's all happening within. But a lot of people have lost those abilities, and now their brain cells are dying. And a lot of people are questioning all of this and saying, well, they sound normal to me. That's that regurgitation. That's how people can be, manipulative and deceptive to you. But they're just regurgitating stuff. Sometimes you can just look into their eyes, I can look into their people, some eyes of people, and recognize there's nothing there. They're doing all the human functions and carrying on, but there's nothing really there. And that's the sad part of it. A lot of people are going to recognize that, because like with my experience with dealing with someone with dementia, yeah, they are, they're like oversized toddlers, oversized, and then but they don't recognize that their cognitive abilities are deteriorating, so they're gonna fight tooth and nail. Oh, I can still do this. I can still drive. I can still manage this. I can still do. They're delusional and hallucinating, and a lot of us attempt to cover for those kind of behaviors and actions because we have so much at stake. So many people's livelihoods were dependent on certain type of personalities that were behaving that way. So what are you supposed to do? So this has been an experience for me. I mean, it's been it's been beautiful and joyful at times as well for me. To understand, like I said, understanding what love is, understanding universal love. The beauty of that, despite anything that's going on, and because, like I said, because of how I've evolved myself over time, which I can teach some of you to do it. Like I said, it doesn't have to take 10 years. Those are the manipulations that we're just going to have to come out of, silently, come out of it. The manipulation from therapists, from psychiatrists, from teachers, from so-called prophets, from psychiatrists, if I hadn't said it, philosophers, so-called healers, have been manipulating some people for 10, 15, where they do not want you to heal. They do not want you to heal. Okay? They want you to be dependent on them. Them means, whoever they are, that, they want you dependent on them. They don't want to let you go. They don't want to release you. Okay? Because that means some of these psychiatrists, healers, whoever they are, can't pay their mortgage, can't pay the car payments. If you are healed, be clear and effective about that. No one has to know that. Just discover things as an adventure. Keep it quiet. Keep it silent within you, because you will need to be able to escape all of that at some point. Okay, and don't look back. Okay, I'll help you. And you're going to be on your journey, and no one can touch you. No one can touch me. Okay. After you develop such, your consciousness, evolve your consciousness, no one can touch it. Okay, because it's invisible. It's invisible strength. I don't have to tell you how strong I am. You'll know it if you're around me. And now, the kind of people that'll come around you, I told you, some of them aren't going to battle you. They're going to say, oh no, they're going to question your skills and abilities, and want to kind of wrestle with you and battle with you. That's fine. It comes with the territory. I don't have an issue with that. I know how to bounce stuff off of me, but I know when it's time to protect myself too, and I know how to defend myself. So I told you from the very beginning, I'm a warrior. I'm a defender. Okay, I'm a protector, and most importantly, I'm a lover. Okay, it's about universal love and loving the people around you and aligning yourself properly with someone. Again, just because you align yourself with someone properly doesn't mean you're not going to have some back and forth. I mean, like I said, my parents modeled what it means to be in an intimate, loving relationship, even though it's complicated too. You got two whole people here, attempting to be individualized while being in a couple relationship, and it works perfectly if you understand that. So I appreciate my parents. Like I said, I'm so grateful and so grateful and honored that my parents modeled the best behavior they could for us, especially when they were going through so many challenges in their lives. They still were able to persevere and commit to each other and be there for each other through thick and thin, sickness and health, all of that. So when you do decide to, get together with someone, make sure you write your own vows, write things that's realistic and grounded, and that you are committed to it and that you're going to stay with that person no matter what. I mean, sometimes we're going to see the ugly sides of each other in an interpersonal relationship. And that's what it's all about, to see the genuine, authentic person, not someone that's, that has to put on these kind of facades. A lot of times you do have to put on a facade. You have to present yourself in a certain way. But on an intimate level, you just need to make sure that you're genuine and authentic as best you can at all times. And no one has to know anything about your intimacy, your partnership, your love relationship, so that you can cultivate it properly. Sometimes you have to put on a facade for people, but you need to make sure they understand the boundaries of your intimacy is between you and your partner, you and your significant other. No one needs to know that. No one needs to know you're single. No one needs to know that you're married. No one needs to know that you've been divorced. I think we need to take all that information out of the air of anybody's business. Make that personal, a personal sanctuary for you to be understanding about, okay, what that means, and making the room for that person that's aligned with you to come through. Each one of us that were born, became, or born, there's a determination for you. There are things that will align up with you, instead of you interfering with it. And that's what we need to get out of, interfering. Get out of our own way. Okay, make the room for whoever's aligned for you to get to you. It's all about your energy, how you resonate with people. And sadly, I say a lot of it has been severed, but I think a lot of it is just waiting for the right opportunities. So again, 2024 were missed opportunities for a lot of people, whether it's aligning with your partner, aligning with this job, aligning with that job. It was just giving you some more room to properly align yourself. Now it's going to be extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. But for some of us, like myself and others who are innately inclined, we are going to do our best because we choose to. This is free will, what I'm doing. I'm doing this because I want to, and I know the value. So I don't want to talk too long. I know I'm going on 30 minutes, and I try to make them 30 minutes and less. But it's so important to be kind and gentle with yourself. Regain your sacredness, regain your privacy. Okay? Look at the person that you are with, and discuss whether you want to keep this going forward. And do it before you get into an argument or get into a fight, get into disagreements and back and forth, because you'll say anything then. Talk to each other when everything is quote unquote good, and make sure you are both in alignment with each other, and you continue to you get your needs met, especially on the intimate level. That's what's missing from a lot of these interpersonal relationships, is the intimacy of it all, and how you can regain that and just feel comforted in someone's arms, during the good and bad times. So the proof is in the pudding. I like this. Means that the true value or quality or something can only be judged by putting it to the test and experiencing it. So experience universal love all over the stars and moon and mountains. Share your gifts, but most importantly, protect yourself. Regain yourself. It's all about you at the end of the day during these final hours. So peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. And trust me, I will be back.